SpaceX is gearing up for Starship's third integrated flight test. Starship 28 recently underwent unexpected engine replacements, while Booster 10 has returned to the launch site. The launch site is almost primed for another epic launch. Meanwhile, work on the second launch tower has kicked off, with more tower sections en route to Starbase. In other news, environmentalist groups have won an appeal on the SpaceX beach closure lawsuit. Stick around as we unravel every thrilling detail. Following the meticulous installation of the remaining thermal protection system tiles, rigorous system checks, and thorough assembly verifications, Starship 28 was transferred from the high bay to the rocket garden 2 weeks ago. Subsequently, it was positioned on a processing stand for further preparation. Later on, at least 2 Raptor engines were removed from the ship. One was a center sea-level engine, and the other was an outer vacuum-optimized engine. The engines were then moved into the processing facility for further inspections. Subsequently, new engines were installed on the ship. Although the exact number of engines removed and replaced remains unclear, it's evident that Starship 28's engines are not yet ready for Flight 3. As of now, there is no information available regarding the specific issues that led to the replacement of the Raptor engines. During thorough examinations, teams could have found anomalies or deviations from expected engine performance. Or data collected from Flight 2 or previous static fire tests might have prompted SpaceX to replace the engines with new and upgraded ones. Starship 28 will soon be rolled out to the launch site after fixing the engine issues. Considering SpaceX's standard practice of conducting a static fire test for any replaced engine before a flight, it is highly probable that Ship 28 will undergo such a test soon to validate the new engine's performance. Road closure notices have been released for test activities at the launch site next week. This could be for Ship 28 static fire tests, or SpaceX might have some other plans. This unexpected engine replacement and subsequent static fire test will inevitably delay Flight 3, initially scheduled for this month. The launch license is expected to be received this month, and as per current developments, the launch might happen in March. On the other hand, SpaceX has completed all necessary checks and inspections on Booster 10 to ensure its readiness for Flight 3. On Thursday, February 8, Booster 10 was removed from its processing stand inside the Mega Bay and placed on a transport stand. The booster then slowly exited the Mega Bay and began its journey towards the launch site. After a nearly 2-hour-long trip, Booster 10 arrived at the launch site and moved towards the launch pad. The booster was gently lifted and placed atop the launch mount on Friday morning. Given that Booster 10 has completed all pre-launch tests, it's unlikely that further testing will occur in the coming week. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. The orbital launch mount is undergoing meticulous preparations to ensure it's fully ready to host Starship Flight 3. As part of these efforts, a new shield has recently been installed on the booster quick disconnect mechanism to provide protection from the intense forces generated by the 33 Raptor engines during liftoff. Concurrently, thorough examinations are underway for critical elements such as the 20 booster hold-down clamps, the outer 20 booster quick disconnect ports, and other crucial components to prevent anomalies during launch. Works have also been underway on the Starship quick disconnect mechanism for the past several weeks. Recently, a retraction test of both the booster and ship quick disconnect mechanisms was conducted, simulating their operation during the Starship launch. Purge tests of the main booster quick disconnect and the 20 outer quick disconnect ports were conducted on Thursday morning. The main quick disconnect mechanism allows the flow of propellants, gases, electric power, and communication signals to the rocket before liftoff. Meanwhile, the outer quick disconnect ports are designed to supply high-pressure helium, methane, and oxygen gases required to spin up and ignite the outer 20 Raptor engines of the booster. Multiple retraction tests of booster hold-down clamps were also performed in the past week. The 20 booster hold-down clamps are designed to provide a stable and secure anchoring mechanism for the booster during the initial stages of launch preparation until liftoff. Additionally, the functionality of the rocket stacking and catching arms, also known as the chopsticks, was evaluated to assess its performance following repairs and upgrades. These comprehensive tests and examinations are essential in ensuring the launch infrastructure's reliability and safety for Starship Flight 3. In addition to the preparations for the launch pad, significant upgrades are underway to fortify the launch site infrastructure against the powerful forces of the Raptor engines during liftoff. A notable improvement includes reinforcing the launch pad base with steel plates to mitigate potential concrete erosion resulting from extreme launch conditions. As you can see in this image shared by RGV Aerial Photography, measures are being taken to reinforce vertical storage tanks, particularly the two storing water and liquid nitrogen, against impacts during launches. These tanks are directly in the path of the booster engine exhaust, necessitating extra protection for them. The decision not to add shields around the remaining tanks is based on SpaceX's observation that they sustained only minor impacts during the first 2 flights. Therefore, the company hopes these tanks will endure Flight 3 without additional protection. Looking ahead, SpaceX plans to decommission and scrap all vertical tanks in the future, emphasizing the transition towards more efficient storage solutions. The new horizontal tanks, installed adjacent to the already active methane tanks, will store propellants after that. Teams are actively working on connecting the 8 new tanks to the liquid oxygen side of the tank farm. The 9th and final horizontal tank arrived at the launch site on Wednesday, February 7. The tank was later placed near the existing horizontal tanks. The wall construction to safeguard the horizontal tanks from debris during launches is nearing completion. Meanwhile, another wall is under construction near the tank farm to shield pumps, heat exchangers, and other vital components on the liquid oxygen side. The wall comprises several concrete sections placed close to each other. Furthermore, recent maintenance activities included the removal of a liquid oxygen pump from the tank farm, likely for repairs or replacement. SpaceX utilizes a set of 5 pumps to ensure the uninterrupted flow of liquid oxygen during test and launch activities. One of those pumps was replaced in January with a brand new one. All these maintenance activities underscore SpaceX's commitment to maintaining optimal performance and reliability across its infrastructure, which is essential for the success of future missions. SpaceX has initiated the groundwork for the second launch tower at Starbase, marking a significant step in bolstering launch infrastructure. Last week, 4 prefabricated tower sections were loaded onto a barge at Kennedy Space Center for transportation to Starbase. Those sections left Kennedy on Thursday, February 8, and are expected to arrive at the Starbase in about a week. The first prefabricated tower section from Kennedy arrived at Starbase in December. In addition to the 4 sections sent on the barge, 2 more sections are being prepared for shipment to Starbase at SpaceX's Roberts Road facility at Kennedy Space Center. Altogether, 7 out of 9 sections of Starbase Tower 2 come from Kennedy Space Center. The prefabrication of the 8th segment has commenced at the Sanchez area of the Starbase production site. Meanwhile, a column believed to be part of the tower's 9th section arrived at the Starbase on Tuesday and was moved to the Sanchez area. More Section 9 pieces can be expected in the coming days. Upon completion, all 9 segments will be stacked at the launch site to finalize Tower 2. At the production site, teams have recently achieved a milestone by completing the stacking of Super Heavy Booster 13. After finalizing the remaining welding and plumbing tasks, Booster 13 will be transported to the Massey's test site for cryogenic-proof tests. Recent reports indicate a significant legal development that may impact SpaceX's ability to restrict public access to Boca Chica Beach near Starbase for Starship test and launch activities. Since 2019, SpaceX has utilized Boca Chica for the construction and testing of its Starship rocket, with local and state officials supporting efforts to limit beach access. However, environmentalist groups have voiced concerns about the frequent closures of Highway 4 and Boca Chica Beach for SpaceX activities, arguing that these actions violate the Open Beaches Amendment of the Texas Constitution, which guarantees public access to beaches. In a recent ruling, a Texas appeals court sided with the environmentalist groups, allowing their case to proceed and challenging the constitutionality of beach closures. The defendants, including Cameron County, the Texas General Land Office, and Paxton, are expected to appeal the decision to the Texas Supreme Court. Meanwhile, Save RGV and other plaintiffs remain steadfast in their commitment to uphold the rights granted to them in the Texas Constitution, signaling a continued legal battle over public access to Boca Chica Beach. Now, let's discuss some of the latest updates from the world of science and technology. SpaceX launched a nearly $1 billion environmental research satellite for NASA. The satellite, named PACE, embarked on its journey atop a Falcon 9 rocket from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station on February 8. Following liftoff, the rocket traced a southerly trajectory over the Atlantic Ocean, just off the eastern coast of Florida. Stage separation occurred as planned, and the first stage came back for a vertical touchdown at SpaceX's Landing Zone 1 in Cape Canaveral. It was the 4th launch and landing for this particular booster. Approximately 12 minutes and 27 seconds into the mission, PACE separated from the rocket's upper stage and transitioned into a 676-kilometer sun-synchronous orbit, joining a fleet of other Earth-observing satellites and forming a comprehensive data collection network. PACE, short for Plankton, Aerosol, Cloud, Ocean Ecosystem, is a state-of-the-art instrument that combines advanced technology and scientific expertise to observe key aspects of our planet's environment. The primary function of PACE is to monitor the Earth's oceans, atmosphere, and the complex interactions between them. The ocean and atmosphere share a direct connection, constantly exchanging energy, water, nutrients, gases, aerosols, and pollutants. PACE carries a suite of cutting-edge sensors and instruments that allow scientists to gather invaluable data about various environmental parameters. The Ocean Color Instrument measures the color of the ocean's surface to monitor the quantities and movements of underwater phytoplankton. Phytoplankton are microscopic photosynthetic organisms that form the foundation of marine ecosystems, playing a crucial role in the global carbon cycle by absorbing carbon dioxide and producing oxygen. As primary producers, they provide food for a wide range of marine organisms, influencing the entire food web and contributing to the health and productivity of ocean ecosystems. Studying the concentration of phytoplankton and other important components helps scientists understand the health and productivity of marine ecosystems. OSI will enable continuous measurement of light at finer wavelength resolution than previous NASA satellites. PACE also houses the spectropolarimeter for planetary exploration instrument, a multi-angle polarimeter that measures the polarization and spectral properties of sunlight reflected by Earth's atmosphere, land surface, and ocean. This instrument provides important insights into the composition, size, and shape of aerosol particles in the atmosphere. Aerosols play a complex role in global warming. While some aerosols, such as sulfate aerosols from volcanic eruptions or industrial activities, have a cooling effect by reflecting sunlight back into space, others, like black carbon aerosols from incomplete combustion, can absorb sunlight and contribute to warming. PACE also carries the Hyperangular Rainbow Polarimeter 2 instrument, a wide-angle imaging polarimeter designed to measure aerosol particles in clouds, as well as properties of land and water surfaces. PACE will also enable scientists to better monitor fisheries, identify harmful algal blooms, and observe changes in marine resources. In short, PACE will advance our knowledge of Earth's oceans and atmosphere, improve climate predictions, and enhance our ability to manage and protect natural resources. The data collected by PACE during its planned mission duration of 3 to 10 years will be invaluable for scientists, policymakers, and organizations working towards a sustainable future. Virgin Galactic reported an issue with a spaceplane alignment pin discovered after its crewed suborbital flight in January. Virgin Galactic conducted its first suborbital mission of this year in January, carrying 4 customers, along with its 2 pilots into space. The VSS Unity spaceplane, attached to the VMS Eve mothership aircraft, took off from Spaceport America on January 26 for the mission dubbed Galactic 06. At roughly 13.7 kilometers altitude, Eve released Unity, and the spacecraft fired up its hybrid rocket engine to ascend into suborbital space. The vehicle reached a peak altitude of 88.8 kilometers, and the passengers experienced a brief period of weightlessness and a view of their home planet against the backdrop of space. The spaceplane then returned to Earth for a runway landing at Spaceport America. 2 weeks later, in a statement released on February 5, Virgin Galactic said it discovered that an alignment pin had detached from VMS Eve during a post-flight review of the mission. The alignment pin is a small component that helps ensure the spaceship, VMS Unity, is aligned properly to the mothership when the 2 vehicles are mated on the ground. The pin also plays a crucial in transferring drag and other aerodynamic forces from the spaceship to the mothership during flight. The company also stated that there was no damage to the shear pin fitting assembly and that it was still mounted and intact on the mothership. While both alignment and shear pins play a role during mated flight, they do not support the spaceship's weight or have an active function once the spaceship is released. Because the alignment pin performed as designed during the mated portion of the flight and was detached only after the spaceship was released from the mothership, the anomaly never posed a safety issue to the vehicles or the passengers. The cause of the pin malfunction is yet unknown, and Virgin Galactic and the FAA are currently working together to conduct a thorough investigation. The company pledges to offer additional updates once the FAA review is concluded. Galactic 07, Virgin Galactic's upcoming suborbital flight, is scheduled for launch in April or June. Thank you for tuning in for the latest science news and Starship updates. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode.